Hello everyone, we are Group 4. Today we will present our report on design changes in design, build, procurement, and how they lead to contractual challenges and cost overruns. Here is the structure of our presentation. We will start with an introduction to D&B procurement and the inherent problem of design changes. Then we will delve into the theoretical framework, followed by an analysis of the multidimensional impacts on cost and stakeholders. We will then discuss risk management and mitigation strategies, present a case study, and finally conclude with key takeaways. The topic is most important because D&B is widely used to achieve fast delivery and a single point of responsibility, and it is often assumed to provide better cost certainty. However, in practice, D&B projects frequently experience design changes after the contract is signed, and these changes can trigger rework, dispute, and additional cost. First, let's understand what design and build procurement is. It is a method where the contractor handles both design and construction, providing a single point of contact. This aims for efficiency, but there's a catch. The fixed price is often agreed upon before the design is fully complete, which can lead to changes down the line.
Hello everyone, my name is Li Wenxuan. Today I will introduce the design and build system, also called DNB. DNB means one company is responsible for both design and construction. This is not like the traditional way, where design and construction are done by different companies. With DNB, the client only needs to talk to one contractor. This makes the project process faster and easier to manage. For example, if a university wants to build a new library, they can use DNB. One company will design and build everything, which saves time and make responsibility clear. DNB has some advantages. First, it makes project management easier because there is only one company in charge. Second, the client can know the project cost earlier, which helps with budgeting, but there are risks too. When signing the contract, the design may not be finished yet. If the client wants to change something later, it can be difficult and expensive. Sometimes the contractor may not agree to make changes that are not in the contract. For example, if a shopping mall is being built, and after signing, the owner wants to add new shops, the change can cost a lot, or may not be possible. In conclusion, DNB is simple and fast, but it is not flexible. DNB works better for projects where the design will not change much. If a project needs many changes, DNB may not be a good choice because changes after signing are difficult and expensive. So my suggestion is before signing a DNB contract, try to finish the design and make the contractor clear about what included. This will help you save money and avoid problems later. Thank you for your listen.
The impact on cost has several parts. First, there are direct costs, like using more materials and paying more for labor. Second, there are indirect costs, such as rework and delays that slow the project down. Third, there are hidden costs, including extra management time and cash flow problems. When you add all of this together, the total cost can increase a lot. One key effect of design changes is budget disorder. In D&B, the budget is often fixed earning, but when the design changes, the team must reforecast the budget and value the variation again. If approvals and valuations are slow, contractors can face cash flow gaps. They still have to pay for work and materials upfront, but the payment comes later. This creates extra financing costs and administration costs. So the impact is not only the direct construction cost, it also disrupts cash flow and reduces the cost that D&B is supposed to provide. Design changes also affect relationships. Different parties want different things. For example, the client cares about revenue, the contractors cares about time and cost, and the suppliers care about delivery. So changes can create tension, reduce trust, and cause poor communication.
On this slide, I will explain the early budget problem and the direct cost execution in design and build. The fixed price is often set based on early and incomplete design. So as design evolves, the initial budget becomes inaccurate and the rebudgeting can undermine the client's fixed price. Expectation: design changes then increase costs directly through rework. Additional resources such as materials or specialist labor, and extended timelines that raise overheads like rental and site fees. Next is cash flow disruption and how budgets are exceeded. Contractors may wait longer for payments, while needing to spend immediately on redesign and new materials, which creates financing pressure. To cover these gaps, they may borrow more, leading to interest costs and a weaker project financial health. Also, many small design changes accumulate, and hidden costs like extra management time can push total costs beyond the original estimate, sometimes by 15 to 25%. This slide explains why traditional money management fails under frequent design changes. First, contingency funds can be depleted quickly because multiple changes consume the project's rainy day reserve. Second, value engineering ideas identified early may be undone by late design changes, forcing more expensive alternatives. Finally, contractors may adopt strategic pricing, either inflating initial bids to cover future change risk, or underbidding to win and then charging more through variations. I will now pass to next speaker, who will cover section 5 on contractual challenges and risk allocation.
Good morning, everyone. This is part I will explain the section 5, control challenges and risk occurrence, and explain why design changes in design build problem often become control disputes and eventually increase execution costs. First, design changes create three major control challenges. The first issue is unbalanced definition of design change. In many DMB contracts, this is unclear whether small adjustments such as major design refinements or function updates caught as a former version. Once this boundary is unclear, disputes arise over whether the contractor is entitled to claim additional time or cost. The second challenge is unclear change produces if the contract does not clearly define how to interpret, review, and approve changes. Decision makes slows down. This delay often disrupts sets activities, leads to repression and cost overruns due to downtime and rework. The third challenge is infernal documentation requirements. If change records, arrivals, and cost breakdowns are not family required, it becomes difficult to pro claims later, and this frequently is escalates into disputes during settlement. Next is and next is risk collection, which is controlled in DMB. In theory, DMB transfers design responsibility to the contractor, but in practice, the key question is who developed the change and who is best able to manage the risk. Employee intelligent changes such as scope expression or foundational upgrades should normally be borne by employee, including both time and cost. Conquest such as its own design defense or obsolescence control methods should remain responsibility without entitlement to comparisons for third party or unforeseen factors such as regulatory change or employment institute conditions. Risk should be accounted based on common terms and shared overwhelms disputes easily image. Finally, the valuation process determines whether design changes turn into claims. A procedure is necessary. Changes should be included in writing, invented for time and cost impact. President use gray evolution methods and employed before. If its steps are skipped, conflict isolate and additional management negotiation and dispute resolution costs increase and the total project cost. In contrast, design changes in DMB are not only technology issues, but cost drivers, strong risk launch rules, clear evaluation projects, and this grouped documentation are key to reduce claims, disputes, and costs. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Li Jiatong. Now I will move to section 6, Design Economics under Design and Build. Design economics focuses on the relationship between design decisions and cost outcomes. Even though design and build aims to improve cost certainty, cost control still depends heavily on how early design decisions are made, how risks are prevented, and how changes are managed. On this page, the key message is that decision support is shifting upstream. Earlier design choices have a disproportionate impact because they determine system selections, specification maturity, and how much downstream rework will occur. Once a project enters
construction, design changes become expensive, so improving early coordination is essential for cost predictability. One major tool that supports this is BIM. In DNB projects, BIM is widely used for trade coordination, clash detection, and constructability reviews. This application help detect conflicts early, reduce unnecessary design and wide-side inefficiencies. Economically, that means fewer delays, fewer rework costs, and more stable cost performance. Therefore, BIM is not only a technique tool, but also a cost predictability tool in design economics. This page introduces value engineering or VE. VE is a systematic and organized approach to providing the required functions at the lowest total cost. Importantly, VE is not simply cutting costs. Instead, it optimizes the relationship between cost, function, and quality. VE is particularly critical in design and build because the contractor often commits to a price early, while design development continues. If VE is applied during the design stage, it helps the team identify cost-saving opportunities before design finish, while prevents expensive redesign later. However, VE can also be undermined if design changes happen too late or too frequently. Late design changes may destroy earlier cost-reducing ideas and force teams to adopt poorer or costlier alternatives. That is why VE must be supported by stable design, governance, and good coordination, so that value decisions remain consistent throughout the project. This page focuses on life cycle cost analysis, or LCCA. LCCA is an economic evaluation technique that assesses the total cost of a facility over its entire lifespan. It includes not only initial capital costs, but also operation, maintenance, repair, and disposal costs. The main purpose of LCCA is to move beyond short-term capital costs and consider the long-term financial implications of design decisions. This is particularly important in design and build procurement, where the project team often focuses strongly on earlier price certainty. Without LCCA, design changes might be approved simply because they appear cheaper or faster in the short term, but they may create higher long-term operating or maintenance costs. LCCA helps decision-makers balance upfront savings with future expenses and ensure that design changes do not reduce long-term value. Therefore, LCCA supports a more sustainable and economically viable approach to design economics in DNB. This final page highlights the role of digital tools in strengthening design economics. First, VE can increasingly integrate with BIM and generate and compare alternatives faster, optimize value, and support higher quality decision making. Second, 5D BIM governance connects model development, digital platforms, and cost classifications. This strengthens cost control because stakeholders can link design information directly to cost impacts and evaluate changes before approving them. Although standard and interoperability remain challenges. This approach provides stronger control against cost escalation caused by design changes. Overall, the key takeaway is that design economics in design and build relies on integrated decision-making. BIM improves early coordination, VE improves value optimization, and LCCA ensures life cycle thinking. Together, these tools provide robust technical support for maintaining cost predictability and safeguarding long-term value in modern D&B projects.
For Section 7, this case used the UK Priority School Building Programme to examine design changes under design and build procurement. Although the program aimed to improve cost certainty through standardized designs, design changes still occur during delivery because design maturity was low at contract award and site-specific requirements emerges later. This shows that under design and build, design change is not an exception, but a structural risk created by early commitment. The key insight from this case is that cost certainty in design and build depends more on information maturity than on procurement form. When employer requirements are unclear and risks are transferred too early, design changes straight from design coordination issues to government and cost control problems. In conclusion, design and build procurement does not eliminate design change risk. Instead, it redistributes that risk. Effective outcomes therefore relate on strong governance, disciplined change control, and better early-stage definition, rather than on procurement type alone.